Okay, today I am sharing a little bit about the ACT and how we were able to help our eighth grade daughter have great success on the test and allow her to get admitted into a dual enrollment program at a community college. And she also scored high enough to actually get admitted to many universities. So we are exploring options for next semester where she could potentially go and start taking some more dual credit courses. So let's talk first about the ACT and how we prepared for it and when we decided to take it for the first time. So I wanted my kids to be really comfortable with tests. So I give them some Iowa test about every other year because I just want them to understand how to take a test and be comfortable with it, because in life you might have to take some tests and they're nothing to stress over. So I always make sure that I do those every few years with my kids so that they can get comfortable. So my daughter has taken some tests before, administered by me, no big stressful thing. But we wanted to do the ACT early because I wanted her to have multiple opportunities to take the test and to get her score high enough to go to the college of her choice. So when I was homeschooled in high school, because yes, I was homeschooled in high school, I took the ACT multiple times and was able to raise my score high enough to not only get admitted to every college that I applied to, but also to get a complete 4-year full ride to a university. So I didn't pay for college at all. So I wanted my children to have that same opportunity. So I knew that it meant starting early. So we decided the summer after eighth grade would be the first time she would take the ACT. And we would have her take it each year just to see how she did. And now they've changed the ACT where you can take just certain sections. So I knew that if there was some sections that she did really well on and there were some sections that she didn't do as well on, we could really focus on those and take just those again if we wanted to. But we needed to have a baseline. We needed to take it first and just see how she did, and also get any of that test anxiety out of the way. I wanted her to understand that this doesn't count. No one is going to see the results but us. We're not sending it anywhere if we don't have to, depending on her score. So what we did is I bought a Kaplan test booklet. So it was one of those big, giant, fat, thick prep books. So we bought that and we spent 2 months in each section. There are 4 sections on the ACT. I did not have her take the writing section, but we just took the reading and the English and then the math and the science. So just the main 4 sections. So we spent 2 months in each section of the book with her studying, going through the book and practicing, doing all the practice problems in each section. I also sent her lots of YouTube videos about those sections. So as she was working through the math section, she watched lots of YouTube videos about the math section and some tips and tricks for that section. Then we had a couple months when she had completed the book where she could take just some practice exams. So a couple weekends, we scheduled a block of time for her to do a practice test. We set the timer, we put her down in a quiet place where no one could bother her, and she practiced and took several practice exams before her actual ACT. So we went through the book. We spent 2 months in each section. Then we took lots and lots of practice exams, one from the book. You can find some online so that she could feel really comfortable. And then during that time, she also watched some general tips and tricks about the ACT as a whole. So I found lots of great videos, and there are lots of free online resources to help you prep and study. So I made sure that she spent time every day. It was part of her school. It was part of her assignment. So part of her school day was to study for the ACT. And then she went and took it that summer after her 8th grade year. Okay, so that meant that she was a little bit accelerated in math. So she had just completed Algebra 1, but she did not have any geometry, any trig, and that is definitely on the ACT. So I told her there's going to be some math that you will not know, and you're going to do your best and take your best guess, and it's okay. And then science, she had only completed kind of a general physical science, so she hasn't had any biology or chemistry. If there's some things like that on there, they might be a little bit foreign to her. Some of the video tutorials that she watched did give her some tips to kind of help her figure some of them out. So she wasn't completely lost, but obviously she had not completed all of the courses to be successful on the ACT, but that didn't matter because we wanted her just to take it, to try, see how she did, and give us that baseline and go from there. So that really helped us see where she was at according to the ACT. It also gave us time to also try the SAT later. Some kids do better on the SAT, some kids do better on the ACT. I was the ACT kid. My husband did well on the SAT. We just think differently. So I wanted my kids to have the opportunity to try both. Since my daughter is a lot like me, I had a feeling that the ACT might be her thing, and she did do really well on it. So I kind of thought, we're probably right. We're still going to try the SAT and the PSAT, but we wanted to start with one of them. So pick the test that you think your child would be more comfortable with, whether it's the ACT or SAT, which one you're more comfortable with. Since I took the ACT so many times, that was the test I was more comfortable with, so we decided to start there. So I had her take it, and I'm glad that we did, because it's opened up a lot of doors for her to start some dual credit and do some dual enrollment at the local community college. And we're also talking with the university where my husband is a professor, and she might be able to take some classes there just based on her score. They might be able to admit her as kind of like a dual credit student, dual enrolled student, so that she can begin taking some college courses that will count for her high school and for her college, saving us a lot of time and money so that we're not doing all the college courses later, because I do want her to be able to graduate early and pursue the things that she wants to do, because she is considering going for a master's and other things. So I want her to get a head start on that. So that's my recommendation. If you have a child who is approaching the high school age, start thinking about those tests. They are kind of ridiculous, and that was something that we talked about. They don't measure how smart you are, or sometimes even how much you really know. It's just how well you can take that test. But they can open the door for scholarships. And yes, some colleges are moving away from the test, but a lot of them aren't. And a lot of scholarships do kind of depend on test scores. And as a homeschool student, it can be a little harder to get colleges to accept transcripts at times. They might ask for additional information, and being able to give them a test score is often really helpful. So that's why we wanted to go ahead and take it, and we wanted to start now. So start thinking about it before you even hit high school. If you have a student who's even thinking about maybe doing some dual credit or maybe going to college early, start thinking about it in 8th grade and make that part of your curriculum. We made test prep part of our 8th grade year, and I'm glad we did, because our hard work paid off, and now she has a lot of opportunities. And as she takes the test again, she won't feel a lot of pressure because she's done well the first time. Now we can just keep improving so that she can have further opportunities. So my recommendation, start early, start now, grab a giant, fat, thick test book and make it part of your school year and your curriculum, and work through it slowly. And then take lots and lots of practice tests before the actual test date, so that your child is comfortable with the format of the test. So even if you haven't completed all the courses necessary for the test, it doesn't mean your child won't score well. They can still do really well on the test, even if they haven't had all of those courses yet. So definitely don't wait. If you think your child is ready, start prepping for it now.